There's a nice way to write large numbers. You can write 1,000 as 10 to the power of 3, meaning 1 with 3 zeros after it, or 1,000,000 as 10 to the power of 6. In Minecraft, the limit to the amount of items you can have in a single storage chest is 1,728. But in a video I released just over a year ago, I demonstrated that you can hold your control key, pick block a chest of items, and turn 1,728 gold blocks into 2,985,984 gold blocks, then again into 5,159,780,352 gold blocks. Unfortunately, however, I ran into problems when trying to create a stack any bigger than 9 trillion gold blocks. That is, until today. Today, I want to show you how I got a Google gold blocks into a single chest in Minecraft. And that's not an exaggeration. 1 with 100 zeros after it, inside of a single chest. Let's get started. There's a lot of different numerical limits to Minecraft, most of which I've experimented with at one point or another. I've coded out the 30 million block world limit. I've set my health to be a negative value. I've set Minecraft's day counter to a negative number. But today, I'm going to experiment with a number that I previously thought I knew the approximate limit to, the amount of items I can put into a single chest. Take this chest for example. It has 1,728 gold blocks in it. By control picking the chest, then opening a new empty chest and cloning the original one 1,728 times, I now have 2 layers of items. I can easily go from 2 to 3 and 3 to 4, but if I try to fill up the 5th chest completely, the game will crash. There's no getting around it. But the other day, I learned that instead of trying to fill up the 5th layer completely, if instead I just place a single 64 stack of layer 4 chests into the layer 5 chest, I can take layer 4 with all of its 8.916 trillion blocks within and multiply it 64 times instead of 1,728 times. By doing this and placing all new chest blocks from layer 5 and up into their own 16 by 16 world chunk, not only will the game not crash, but the chest will close and the items will save. But obviously, I'm not going to stop at layer 5. And you know, I'm not going to stop at layer 6 either, or layer 7, or layer 9, or layer 24, or even layer 42. To go from 1,728 gold blocks all the way up to 28.38 Google gold blocks, it takes 50 layers and 43 gigabytes of RAM. Seriously, Minecraft allocated all of it by the time I was done, and was usually using 2/3 of it all at once. But you want to know why this was really necessary? Not only because each chest was loaded all at once, given how I placed them, but because from the start of layer 1 until the end of layer 50, I didn't restart Minecraft even one time. While creating this monstrosity, I had to know if Minecraft could handle it, and it definitely, if not a little reluctantly, could pull it off. While I did restart the world a couple of times just to ensure that the cloning process worked from start to finish, I never closed the game. Just to prove that my insanity is legitimate, I recreated the layer 50 chest hundreds of blocks away from all the other chests, made this new area the world spawn point, and deconstructed the entire stack. And sure enough, it took me through all 50 layers of chests before I could access the gold blocks within. To put this into some perspective, if our sun were made up completely of atoms, there would be almost 10 to the 57 atoms within. To compress the sun into a black hole, it'd have to have a radius of just under 3 kilometers, and we've got 2.838 times 10 to the 101 gold blocks within a chest with a radius of less than half a meter. Not only does this far exceed the density of a black hole, we have more gold blocks in this chest than exist atoms in the known universe, which, in case you're curious, is somewhere around 10 to the 80th power. This chest should consume the whole universe for breakfast, but because it's Minecraft, I can just have 2 of them chilling side by side while I hold another one in my hands, albeit at a very low frame rate. So yeah, this video took me hours of research, tons of trial and error, and hours to even record it to get the results that I was after. So seriously, if you enjoyed this video, please consider leaving a like on it, especially this time, because it would really help out myself, the channel, and the video quite a lot. And you know, if you know anyone who might enjoy my content, consider telling them about my videos, because every little bit helps. So before I go ending off this video, I thought I'd give you guys a brief demonstration as to how I created this entire monstrosity. And again, if you guys want to check out this map for yourselves, I will have a link in the description down below. So if you log on to the map, what you're going to encounter is you're just going to encounter this one single chest that says layer 50 and 28.37878 Google. And that is how many gold blocks are actually within this chest. If you want to go ahead and you want to try and deconstruct it for yourselves, then be my guest. What I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do real quick is I'm going to go on to survival mode, and I'm choosing that because when I place down a chest, it will actually leave my inventory, which is kind of important for making this work. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to open up the chest here, and as you can see, it says 64, it says plus NBT. If you go ahead and you drag one of these items into your inventory, I would recommend not placing the item on top of your inventory slot that you have selected. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to drag the 64 stack. I'm going to right click once so that only one of them gets dropped into my inventory. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit the 3 key on my keyboard, which is going to select the slot, and then I'm going to very quickly place it down. Because again, if you know, see, okay, I selected it right, and there's no frame rate. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to spam my 2 key, which immediately brings the game back. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do that real quick, and there we go. So if I go ahead and I open up this chest, it's going to take a little bit, but then you're going to see that there is another 64 stack of chests in there. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to repeat this process just one more time for the sake of demonstration. And if I went ahead and I did this 50 times, oh, I didn't mean to select it, there we go. If you go ahead and you do this 50 times, then you will find gold blocks in the very last stack. So let's go ahead and let's open this up here, and as you can see, there is another 64 stack of chests in there. So as you guys can see, I have 94% of my RAM allocated on the top right of the screen. That's 41 gigabytes right now. So what I'm going to actually do is I'm going to walk down this path right here and go to the original area where I duplicated all of these items. The reason why I have you guys spawning in this area when you download the map is because it takes that area multiple minutes to load, whereas it only takes this area a couple seconds to load. So, you know, most people should at least be able to load up this area. So let's go ahead and let's head over there. So, alright, now we're in the main duplication area. So, as you guys can see in front of me here, there are all kinds of chests that are labeled with the math that figures out how many items are in them, and then at the very bottom it labels what layer the chest is. And you can also probably notice that the entire floor is a giant checkerboard pattern, because each and every one of these chests beyond layer 4 exists in its own 16 by 16 chunk. I'm not 100% sure if this was absolutely necessary to make this work, but I had a lot better luck getting the duplication to work if I put each chest in its own 16 by 16 chunk. And if you go ahead and you look on the top left of the screen where it says chunk 15, 5, 15. If I go ahead and I walk to here, you can see that one of those numbers went from 15 to 0, and now the other one went from 15 to 0. So that's how I know that they were inside of different chunks. So if I go ahead and I take a look at this first chest here, you can see it says 64 times 27 is 1,728, which makes sense. The bottom layer of all of these chests are filled up with gold blocks, and I chose those because I thought it would be interesting because gold blocks are considered to be the heaviest in Minecraft, and if a gold block were to exist in real life, it would be 19,300 kilograms. So you can see how that extrapolates out really quickly. And at the end of this video, I said that there are multiple hundreds of thousands of Googles of weight inside of the final chest. So if I go ahead now and I take a look at the second chest, you can see that it says 1728 times 1728, which makes sense. And then this one says L2 times 1728. So all that means is it's the result of layer 2, which is this number right here, times 1728, which gives me just over 5 billion. And then I was able to do that again. So layer 3 times 1728, so it's this 5 billion number, times 1728 gives me just under 9 trillion. Now, beyond this point, I was not able to stack all the way up to 1728, as I mentioned in the video, so I had to resort to stacking up to 64. So if I go ahead and I open up this chest, that one's full. This chest is going to be completely full. This chest is going to be completely full. So, like, these chests are not the same as these ones that were in here. These chests right here are literally if I pick block this one by holding control, and then I duplicate it out 1728 times. And again, the same applies over here. But then in this layer, I had to go to 64 because if I tried to stack any higher than that, the game would just not save the chest. It would not save the items within. There's just a lot of things that would go wrong. And this made it most likely that everything would save. So now if I go ahead and, as you can see here, it says layer 4 times 64 gives me layer 5. Layer 5 times 64 gives me layer 6, and so on and so forth. So as you can see, the numbers are getting really big really quickly, going from 570, I think, trillion to 36 quadrillion to 2.3 quintillion, and then I have a little sign here that denotes where you need to walk for the next layers, and I think I have that on all of them if you can actually manage to load this area. I'm not 100% sure if I have that. So now this one is layer 7 times 64, and again, the numbers are just getting absolutely ridiculous to the point where I couldn't use commas to write them anymore, and then I just decided to stop writing them that way. So, okay, that was actually the wrong layer. I think I need to go over here. Yep, so okay. Layer 11, layer 12, like with layer 13, or rather layer 14, as you can see, the number spans 3 lines at this point, so I just decided from that point on, I would use the mathematical notation right here to write it out. So this number is 32 digits long, and then if we go ahead and we just keep following these layers all the way down, you can see that this layer right here is 36 digits long, then 38, then, okay, 34, 36, 38, 40, and then I need to go ahead and I need to go up over here, and the numbers just add up, you know, linearly almost. You see, it goes from 41, 43, 45, 47. It doesn't always go up by 2. So this one's 49, 50, 52, 54, so it only went up by 1 there. And when we go ahead and we go all the way to the end layer here, we go to layer 49, which is layer 48 times 64, gives us 99 digits. Then the very last layer is 2.38787 times 10 to the 101. So that can be written as 28.37 Google, because if I move this decimal point 1 spot over, I drop 1 exponent off of here, so it's 28 Google. That's how many items are in this chest right here, and that's the same amount of items that you'll find in that chest over there. This chest right here is just a duplication of the one that's at the very end there. So if you guys want to try and load up this area for yourselves, I welcome you to try it out, but as you can see on the top right of my screen, my allocated amount of RAM is 81%, and that's the amount of RAM it took to go from a fresh restart of Minecraft, which is what I had to do between the 2 takes, in order to load this area up. 85% of my RAM is allocated for this, so not too sure if you'll be able to load up this area without crippling lag spikes, but go ahead and give it a try for yourselves. But anyways, guys, that just about does it for me for now. I hope you all enjoyed. My name is AntVenom, and I bid you all farewell. Thanks so much for watching.